all take a little time. I'm going to give you about 4 minutes. And I want you to write down the different positions that you've held or things that you've done in your life. Go ahead and give me a few. Mom skills, absolutely. Those are skills. That's a job. That's a thing. So just write down a few of those jobs for me. Sometimes I know there was one time I didn't even remember what job it was. I was like, I did that one thing. What was it? Oh, flipping burger. I can't even remember. I just said burger flipper. Okay, so you all have been writing frantically. You got at least what? Four jobs? Everybody got 4 jobs? At least? 5, 6, 7, 12, 18. Right? So you recognize that you've been doing some different things probably in different places. Anytime there was a move, something had changed, right? And I often like to say, if I gave you probably another 30 minutes, you would probably be able to fill that paper up with a lot more jobs than the ones that you've written down. But just for these purposes, since we only have about an hour, I'm going to let you stay where you're at right there, okay? So the definition of a career. Does anybody know the definition of a career? So it can be a noun or a verb, and I like to get it right, so I read my Webster's dictionary. So as a noun, career is an occupation undertaken for a significant period of a person's life with opportunities for progress. I have enjoyed a 20-year career as a Dodge teacher. That's not me. Well, what is it as a verb, career? Move swiftly and in an uncontrolled way in a specified direction. What? The car careered into the hedges off the side of the road. And I was like, man, that's me. I have not had a 20-year career as a GS-59 working, doing these great things that are awesome. I actually have a career that has a span of multiple jobs and multiple locations and different things that I've had to do, reinventing myself. And we are, if not anything as our expertise, we are experts at reinventing ourselves at every turn. So right there's one expertise that you can't be mocked. We know how to move and maneuver and get in where we fit in as much as we possibly can. So that's one of those things where I want to get people out of the mindset of career, because there was a time in one of my darkest phases where I thought, I am a failure, I got all this education, and I don't have a legitimate career. What will I tell my children that I did all my life? I admired the people who were teachers for 25 years and loved it and retired. I admired the woman who was able to move up the ranks and now is a chief of whatever it is. And here I am, little old me, little old Karamel McCoy, who paid for a great education, have all these different initials behind my name, and I don't have nothing as far as a career to show for it. And then I had to get out of that mindset and realize, wait a minute, right? So that's part of this exercise. Wait, I've had these jobs, I've worked at them, someone hired me, or someone thought of me in this position that said, hey, listen, I want you to do this for me. And they did that because they obviously thought that I knew what I was talking about in that moment, right? For that position. Have you ever had that time where someone calls you for something that you do and they know that you're going to give them the proper answer? That's expertise. Okay? All right, so the next exercise. So we've got our jobs listed here. So with the jobs that you just have written down in front of you, I want you to pull out exactly what you did, the main purpose of you in that position. What did you do? What were the skills that you needed to use when you were at that position? And I want you to write that in the block where it says skill sets from jobs. So this is a space where you're going to write down what was it that they were asking you to do in that position. So for one of those, it would be, I worked at TJ Maxx. They asked me to be a cashier. And I recovered the sales floor in the children's department. That kind of thing. So I'm going to give you just a moment to write down the skills that were required to do that. Was it organization of the food? Did you write the newsletter for the church? All right. So this work that you're doing right now is work that is specifically for you. It's not about your husbands. It's not about your children. It's not about the next employer or the next organization. This is strictly something for you for self-development. This is what it was for me, it was therapy. Because when you feel like you haven't had a career and you don't know what's going to come next because you're continuing to move, the last thing you want to deal with is, oh my goodness, I got to do this all over again. And so I had to start realizing, man, I need to focus in on and get to the crust of the matter of what it is that I enjoy doing that will make it to where this moving thing will not be such an exasperating, exhausting, terrible experience every time I do it. I've been hearing a lot lately, bloom where you're planting. You heard that? That gets on my nerves. It gets on my nerves so bad that that's easy for you to say, bloom where you planted, but imagine that person when I have to go there and maybe it's rocky, there's no soil, I don't know. But my point in saying that is, while that sounds great, we have to figure out how we're going to make that bloom happen. And we do it very well. Not most people. As a matter of fact, the fact that you all are here at this event, the AWAC event, says that you're trying your best to bloom wherever you're planted. That's the idea of this, to come together and figure out what it is that I need to do to make sure that I'm going to not be, you know, Downer Lucy or Downer Debbie. I never get those things right. Debbie Downer, my bad. I never get those right, but Debbie Downer, right? You want to be the best you can be for not just you, for them as well. But you start here. It starts here. So I'm not going to give you a whole lot more time. But does anybody, well, I'm going to share first. And I'm going to ask somebody to share that job that they have. Okay. So there was a position that I worked, I think it was job number 12. And job number 12 was the most, I'm going to describe it. There's no way to do it but to describe it. Okay. So there was a machine and there was a box of red wires and a box of yellow wires. And you took the two wires and you put them on the machine, and there was a pedal, and you would pedal it, and then it would clamp the two wires together. Now, if you were successful at clamping the two wires together, you put it in the box on the left. But if that clamp was not right, you had to put it in the box on the right. I put most of my wires on the box on the right. And I started at 8 o'clock, and by 10 o'clock I was like, deuces, I'm out, I'm not doing this. This obviously is the job for me. I never went back to get that $24 that I made, because you can keep it. This was enough for you to let me come in here and realize that that's not the job that I want to do, and that's cool, right? So I will tell you that out of those 39 jobs that I've had, probably a quarter of them, maybe 12 of them have been jobs where I was like, this sucks, and I'm not going to ever do this again, because I know it's not the job for me. Anybody know about that job that you just know that you do not want to do? Does anybody have an example on their list of that job? Anybody want to share? Yes.
Telecom.
Telecom. What is that job?
When you call people and you try to get them to buy something. Yeah, telecom person.
You were a telephone salesperson.
Right.
Got it.
Yeah, I didn't do well. People hung up in my face and cussed me out. Probably some of you. Why are you calling me at dinner time? Or I don't have the money. No, I don't want this. If I want it, I went out and got it. Or
so that was a job that you had some skills, or maybe didn't have the skills. But you have acquired the skill to do it. That's just not something you want to do.
That's not. I was like you. I didn't last long.
Okay. Because this is the other part of that. While there would be all of those positions, if I needed to do that job, I would do it. I almost feel like, have you ever seen the show Everybody Hates Chris? Does anybody know that show?
Yes.
And the mom, she works for her, the dad works like a bunch of jobs, but mom, and when she'd get a job, she'd say, I'll have to take this, my husband got a good job. Yeah. And she'd quit. Sometimes I felt that way, right? Because I do have a little bit of a luxury by having a person, a spouse, who is able to meet the gap whenever there is a gap when I'm not working. And whether that be of my own reason for not working, or because I'm somewhere that I'm not able to get a position, or whatever that looks like. But in that time, I always say, man, but you have that kind of job where you're like, man, never again. So that time, I knew at that moment that I was not a production worker. There would be no production work for me. I had done it because I never want anyone to not do something based on the fact that they have in their mind that they can't do it. Does that make sense to everybody? Do you understand what I mean when I say that? Just because you think it's not supposed to be, or that you wouldn't like it, doesn't necessarily mean that you won't like it once you get in, right? I do know that another job that I will never do is I don't teach children. I love my children, I don't like them. And I don't have a problem saying that. I love them dearly. They are like, I bore them. I said that earlier, but I don't like them much. I don't enjoy teaching children. I can be in a room full of adults because you all are going to get my jokes, and you all are going to give me good feedback, and you're not going to cry and have to go to the potty. And if you do, you can go on your own, right? I know that I'm not a teacher. That's something that I know. But I've done it, right? To say that I'm not going to do something that I've never done before, never tried, I'm giving out on myself, and that's a cop-out more than it is anything else. Anybody else have a job that they know that they wouldn't do, that they hated? What was it?
It's kind of a cashier / sales.
Ah.
It's kind of the same thing. Well, it's not that I was terrible at it, it's just that I didn't want to sell people things that I know is like, it's
They
just
didn't need,
a waste
didn't
of
want.
money,
Ah.
it wasn't good for you.
Right.
Like, oh, you're on your way, let me stop you to give you this like little like 300-calorie sugar thing that's gonna make you feel like shit. And,
Ah.
yeah.
I get it. So the idea was you had a little bit of you thought about the person who was actually going to buy.
Yeah.